I'm Alexis Newbert of Alexis Design, and this is how to print your own postcards. Now, before you print, we'll assume that you have a postcard designed together, and in order to do that, you would want to use any sort of layout program. I recommend Adobe InDesign. You could use Illustrator or Photoshop. Just make sure that when you start your document, you create a standard postcard size, such as 4 by 6, 4 1/4 by 6, or what I'm going to demonstrate here, a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, because that is the easiest way to create a postcard that you can print and cut yourself. To backtrack a little bit, if you were to do a 4 by 6, you can get any number of pre-perforated papers to run through your own printer that would have templates for how to set up your postcards at that standard size and print them out and then kind of pull them apart. But if you wanted to skip that whole step and just choose some kind of paper that you want, or even send to your local copy shop for probably the most cost-effective way to print postcards, you want to do a size that can fit 4 to an 8 1/2 by 11 sheet. So that's why we choose 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. You can orient it landscape or portrait, whichever you choose. You can do a front and a back. Also with this size, you don't have to worry about how things line up front and back so much, because you've split your sheet into quarters rather than some sort of thirds. It should all line up as long as each panel is in its right place. So to get started, I've created this document and put up some guides. I'm going to put small margins around the edge of my paper and down the center between my cards, so that when they're cut, it doesn't cut into any of the picture. I have even white margins all the way around, and it just makes for a simple finished product. So here's my postcard, and I place it in here, and you can see there's a little bit of white around the edges. And if I zoom out, I can just copy and paste. Select those two together, copy and paste again. If you don't know the keyboard shortcuts for those commands can be found in the Edit menu. When you look at the finished document, you have each side in quarters. You can also do a back side, set up the same way. Maybe you want to orient that horizontally so that you have a mailing panel. Depends on what your purpose is. And when you print this, you can easily do one cut down the center of your sheet and then a second cut down the center horizontally. That can be done with an X-Acto knife, with a simple paper cutter, or as I mentioned before, if you have it done at your local print or copy shop, they can usually cut that for you, and it's the simplest and most cost-effective type of cut that you can do. It's also a standard mailing size, so you can feel free to put a stamp on this and send it through the mail. And that's how to print your own postcard.